Welcome back to Bourbon on the Brain, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the bottles that I have in my collection, going through, doing a little 30-second reviews on each one, and just kind of doing an eval, seeing what I got going on. We got music that keeps popping up. Hopefully that fixed it. Okay, so I obviously don't have all of the bottles in front of me that I'm going to just start pulling off shelves. So I have pictures of each one. These are pictures at my house. This is my dining room floor behind it. So, first things first is the Woodford Reserve Sonoma Triple Cask Finish. This was a Costco find that actually my dad brought with him on a trip. Really nice bottle, a little bit sweet, a little bit of burn, a little bit of a lower proof. Nice thing about the Masters collections is that they're a little bit different each time. Woodford does like that 90.4 proof range. It's sort of their happy zone. But the nice thing that they do is it's back. Their 90.4 proofs all taste very different, which is sort of a nice thing. Like I said, it's a little bit sweet, it's a little bit spicy. It's got a little bit of that dryness from the wine. It's overall it's a nice bottle. I do enjoy it. The picture is of it being unopened, but we're about halfway through it at this point, and it's a nice bottle. Next up, we have the Masters Collection Batch Proof 124.7. I believe this was a 2023 release, but it might be 2022. Don't remember off the top of my head. I'm kind of going into this blind, completely based off of my memory. This was a Pavilions find. If you don't know, supermarkets typically have stuff at MSRP or just slightly above MSRP. It's always good finds. It's a burner for sure. You feel it on the way down. It's a really enjoyable, high quality taste, as it's back again, as is everything that Woodford does. And I do thoroughly enjoy it. I definitely would recommend. It's a little bit pricier. I think this one was in the 140, 150 range. But it's a good bourbon. If you saw my Instagram story a few months ago, you probably know the background on this. I way overpaid for it. I spent about $400 on it. This is probably one of my bigger regrets in my bourbon experience. It's a very good bottle of bourbon. Don't get me wrong. It's got quite the story behind it. That being said, it's really a $150 bottle of bourbon at best. Really enjoyable, especially if you like wheated bourbons, which I do. It's got a little bit of burn to it. It's pretty smooth. It's overall an objectively good bourbon, but it's not a $400 bourbon. The Wild Turkey Father and Son. So, right at the beginning of my bourbon journey, I posted a video about this. So, this was actually a gift from my grandfather that showed up on my doorstep that he bought for me before he died, and it arrived after he had died, about a week after he died. So I am not objective about this bottle. That being said, it is a very good bottle of bourbon, but it's not amazing. But for me, it's got a certain sentimentality to it that I can't overlook. So bear that in mind. In terms of the price, it's about a $250 bottle of bourbon. Generally, you can only get it as an export. I have seen it pop up a little bit more recently in the U.S., but like I believe this one came from Japan. And yeah, that's that. So this is the Whistle Pig Piggyback, the 6-year. Funny story about this one, because the next one is the Bussin with the Boys, which you can see is open, while this one is unopened. I had bought the Whistle Pig Bussin with the Boys, tried it, wasn't a massive fan of it. It's about a $40, $50 bottle of bourbon. And I happened to run into one of the marketing managers from Whistle Pig at an event. And he and I spent a long time talking, and I told him that I'm a big fan of Whistle Pig Rye. It's my favorite rye. But I was not a big fan of the 6-year, the Bussin with the Boys. And he volunteered to send me some bourbon, specifically the regular sixer, for me to try because he thought I would enjoy it a lot more. And part of that was he also sent me a bunch of other stuff as well. As of yet, I have not opened it because I have so many things that are unopened. But it is actually right behind me in my unopened section, waiting to be opened. So there is no comment on this one quite yet, so stay tuned. This one, however, objectively, it's a fine bottle of bourbon. It's a good deal for the price. WhistlePig's quality is always very good. It just, for me, it wasn't anything special. I enjoy WhistlePig a lot. I think their quality is quite good. As I said, it didn't do it for me. Okay. The Wellers. The Wellers are an interesting one. The Antique 107, fantastic bourbon. Really a bourbon beyond reproach. The biggest problem with the Weller, and the next one as well, is the price, because you're paying way more money for them than you should be. Are they high quality? Yes. Do the name carry a lot of weight? Yes. Are you going to enjoy drinking them? Absolutely. But, and it's a big but, they're 4 or 5 times their MSRP, and it's a little bit ridiculous. But, fantastic bourbon. Same thing with the 12-year. I stole this a little bit. I got it at about $45, which at the time I didn't realize how good of a deal it actually was. I just knew what the MSRP was, didn't realize the market value for these. So I haven't been able to get my hands on another bottle at that price, and I'm hesitant to pay as much as I did for this bottle because while it's very good and I thoroughly enjoy it, I'm kind of milking it because I don't want to spend $100 on another bottle. Unopened, still unopened, part of my unopened collection. Don't have a lot to say on it except that I won it at auction and it was part of a bundle and I got it essentially for free. Okay, so the Trader Joe's bourbons, there's 3 of them. If you've seen my video on YouTube, then kudos. If you haven't, check it out. I do a deep dive on the Trader Joe's bourbons. This one is kind of modeled after Jefferson's, as you can tell by the bottle design. This is a good sort of shooter bourbon. It's an 80 proof, so it's a little bit on the lighter side. It's got some decent caramel taste, but you're not going to be sipping this bourbon, and if you are, more power to you. But this is more of just sort of a shooter bourbon. And then we have the Trader Joe's straight whiskey, straight bourbon whiskey. This is a mixer, plain and simple. Don't drink it straight, please. And if you do, don't hold me responsible for any poor taste that you might have. And that brings us to their high proof. The first time I read this, I thought it said 425 proof, not 125 proof. And it caught me off guard a little bit. This is the sipper that Trader Joe's has. Very nice. Not super smooth, but high quality taste. I believe this is modeled off of Rock Hill Farms. I don't have a bottle of Rock Hill Farms to compare it to, but I believe that's what it's modeled off of. Very good. My dad and I both tried it. We both enjoyed it a lot. And I believe that Trader Joe's should bundle the 3 of these as sort of like a party pack because they all serve a very different purpose. And you're spending about $55 buying all 3 of them. If they, bundled them and sold it for like $45, give you $10 off, I think you could probably make a pretty good party pack out of these. Next up, the 3 Chord 99. So I play baseball. This bottle holds a little bit of a special place to me. It's basic. I think 3 Chord is a very good entry-level distillery for people that are kind of getting into the fold. I enjoy 3 Chord, but it's not necessarily a go-to for me. And the same thing with this bottle. This bottle was $99. And while I enjoy it a lot, I'm not sure I would pay $99 again for it. Now, one of the nice things about 3/4 you get directly from the distillery, which means that you're not paying aftermarket, which I do enjoy. And I do enjoy the bourbon. But as you can tell by the level that it's at, I haven't had much since I opened it. And it's just simply because there are things on my shelf that I'd rather drink over this. Not because of its poor quality or its poor taste or any of that. It's just there are other things that I would rather drink. Next we have the Starlight VDM barrel finish. So for those that don't know, VDM is Vinho de Naranja, which is essentially an orange liqueur. I really enjoy this. This was the first bottle of Starlight that I bought, and I do enjoy it a lot. It's a little bit different. I did a review on this a long time ago. I'm probably going to have to go back and review it again because I don't love the review that I did. But it's a very enjoyable bourbon. It's got a little bit of sweetness, not so much a bite. And it's a little bit of a higher proof without so much of the proof bite. So definitely take a look at it. That brings us to the Starlight maple syrup finished. So what's interesting about this is I also have, and I'll do it, this will probably be the last bottle that I do for this segment. In the next segment, we'll take a look at the Starlight Amberana finished, which I actually think the labels on these got switched somehow. Not actually, but that's sort of what they taste like. The Starlight Amberana finish really feels maple. You really get a heavy maple finish. It's sweet, it's smooth, it's almost like a dessert bourbon. Where this tastes like a cigar batch. It's got that heavy tobacco feel, it's powerful, it's bold. You don't get so much of the maple on the finish. And I truly think that the labels got switched by accident or something because it's so funny how literal opposite they are. But very enjoyable bourbon. I really enjoy it a lot. My dad and I drink it usually with some sort of hearty meal, but definitely not, if you're looking for sort of a sweeter maple syrup finish, it's not this one. So that's going to be all that I have for you for this segment. I think we went through, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 of my bottles so far. There are bottles that are not on here. Some of my closed bottles I haven't added to this file yet. But this will be part one. I'll roll out a couple of other parts over the course of the next couple weeks. And you can follow along, see what I have, see what I like, and kind of go from there. So as always, enjoy, drink safely, and we'll catch you next time. Bye for now.